Hi, I'm Sheilaa Hite, world-class astrologer, tarot master, spellcaster, medium, and all-around magical being. And I'm here today to talk about this week's coming astrological aspects. The whole week, no matter what's happening, the whole week is building up to two major events. One, Mercury retrograde, and two, the full moon. That's plenty. So what we have to do to prepare, and I'll tell you when those days are, but first let's talk about you being prepped. What you have to do to prepare. One, you have to realize that we humans are emotional beings, but we're more than just emotional beings. We can learn to and need to learn to use our emotions as opposed to letting our emotions use us. And this is a very emotional week coming up. So one of the things we have to do is we have to learn to respond instead of react. And react, you know what that is. Just before you know it, your mouth is open, something's happened. But to respond, practice taking 3 deep rhythmic breaths when you really begin to feel emotional. Taking those 3 beats or those 3 breaths changes everything. And it changes you from someone whose button is pushed to someone who is choosing to respond and how to respond, or not to respond if you choose. A response is really what's called for, and especially for the next 3 weeks, because once Mercury goes retrograde, it's going to be about a 24-day retrograde, so 3.5 weeks. It's going to give you a chance to there's retrograde, respond or react, retreat, rethink, research. Take the re's and make them work for you. So we're headed, as I said before, towards a very, very emotional week. And everything is building up to that. On Friday, 2 things. Set your moon water out so that it can begin to get the energy of the moon as it builds to a very phenomenal and powerful full moon. Because this full moon that we're building to is conjunct together with the planet Pluto, which is very dynamic, and sometimes, well, not sometimes, Pluto is about power. And when Pluto is involved, you don't have the power. Pluto can lead you around or push you around or pull you around. What you need to do is cooperate with Pluto and learn to respond. Energy is innocent. It's what we do with it that determines the outcome of any situation. If we respond, especially when Pluto is involved, evolvement happens. Great things come about. If we react when Pluto is involved, conflagration ensues, as the I Ching says. You really don't want that to happen. So, one of the things that you're going to do is set your water in the windowsill or outside if you feel comfortable doing that. And wherever you set it, make sure you cover it so that critters don't get in. And let it set until the moon is full. And I like to let it set until the moon is full and 2 or 3 days after that, because the energy of the full moon works like this. 3 days leading up to it, then we have the full moon, and then 3 days of release afterwards. Now, when is this full moon I've been talking about? It's next Monday, January 17th. And as I said before, it's going to be a very powerful full moon. The full moons are powerful anyway. Full moons are emotional energy drains. You can definitely take charge and need to take charge as we move into Mercury retrograde on this coming Friday, and we move towards that full moon on the following Monday, January 17th. So respond, respond, respond. Take everything with 3 deep, rhythmic, gentle breaths and respond. That way, during the retrograde, you won't have to keep redoing what you didn't do properly before the Mercury retrograde. So Mercury retrograde is coming. Not a good time to buy expensive items. Definitely cars and houses are very expensive items. If you can, hold off on signing any major papers. If you can't, make sure that you completely understand what you're signing and make sure you bring in an outside authority. If you've got lawyers on one hand working on whatever it is you're going to sign, bring in somebody completely new and have them look at the situation, because you really need to know all you can. This is going to be a really phenomenally wild, in the sense that new things can happen and things that give you power in this upcoming Mercury retrograde. Or you can allow your power to be drawn away from you by errant emotions. So I know which one I'm choosing, and I hope you're choosing the one that lets you be in charge of you. It's a great time with all of this energy. It's a great time to really use your will, because Pluto, which is conjunct that full moon, and the full moon represent the will, our willpower. You are either willing or willful. So if you're paying attention to the full moon and its conjunction to Pluto, you are using the energy of will to move mountains, to make the magic you want in your life. And that's what I suggest. Make the magic you want in your life. Don't be dragged through the mud by all of the things you couldn't rise to meet. Much joy, many blessings, happy Mercury retrograde, happy preparation for full moon, and I'll see you next week. Bye.